Okay, we're going to start with Chapter 4, which covers strings and text files. You can read the objectives on your own. The first thing that we're going to look at is examining the internal structure of a string more closely. You'll learn how to manipulate strings and how to extract portions of a string. These portions are called substrings. If you'd like to see an alternate introduction to string processing in Python, in addition to these notes, just check out the link that I've provided. The structure of strings. Obviously, when you have a value like 10 or 9 or 5, you have a single value. You can't break down that piece of data into smaller parts. However, we've been learning a variety of data types, strings, integers, floats, so float, int, and str in Python. We've even taken a quick look at the list data type. And one thing that you should be aware of is that there are a number of data types that actually can be divided up into smaller parts, because in fact they are a collection of smaller parts. These data types are referred to as a special category called data structures. A string is known as an immutable data structure. An immutable data structure can't be edited. We could take, for instance, S is assigned the value of the actual word string, string, in lowercase letters. And we have no operations in Python, and in fact in most other languages, through which we could perhaps edit a letter or so in the string. For instance, changing the I in string to an O to make the word strong, or changing the I in string to the letter U to make the word strung. We can't edit the string. It is stored as a single piece of data, even though it's made up of several different characters. So a data structure is a data type which consists of a collection of smaller pieces of data, like a string. However, the string is not a mutable data structure. We'll be looking at some of those as well, but it is an immutable data structure. If I want the variable s to refer to some other string, to some other word, I actually have to reassign it. Now, don't confuse reassignment with editing. Editing means that we change the internal composition of a piece of data stored in memory somehow. When we reassign, we are actually no longer pointing to the cell in memory that was assigned originally, but we're pointing to some new cell in memory that has, in all likelihood, a different value. Now, let's first look at the idea of getting the string's length. A string's length is made up of the number of characters it contains, and a string always contains 0 or more characters. If you recall, a string of 0 characters is also called the null string or the empty string. We could create a null string by simply saying something like variable s is assigned the value of quote quote, or double quote double quote. Those will have no characters inside, even a space. Do not confuse the string quote space quote with quote quote. One is the empty string. The other is a string of length 1, which contains a single character, the space character. Note that space, as well as any other special and even invisible characters, is indeed a character. Here's a little example of how we could get the length of a string. So we have len is the function name. It's a built-in function. You don't have to do any import. That will give us the length of a given string. Here we have a literal hi there in quotes. And if we enter this into the shell, we'll see that the value returned is 9. Here we have an example of the empty string. And the length of the empty string will always be 0. Remember that the length of a string containing a single space will indeed be 1, but it only contains a space. It is, however, a character. Here's a diagram that illustrates how the letters in a string are laid out. We always have as the first position in the string 0. Now, you may be used to thinking that, oh, we should start at 1, but many of these structures in computer science, we start the counting at 0 instead. This is called zero-based indexing, and in fact, these positional numbers are referred to as the indices of the string. So H, the capital letter H, has the index in hi there of 0. I has the index 1. The space character has the index 2, and so on, up through the exclamation point, which has the index 8.